So thanks for allowing me to bother you this late at night and this quickly. I've been kind of slacking on getting this organized, but I appreciate you guys being willing to jump into this. So thank you very much.
Quite welcome.
Yeah, we had a wet meetup the other day, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Yes, we
Yeah,
did.
it's been rain like that in a while.
Yeah, I know. We all got concerned. Robert, you had to leave early, didn't you?
Yeah, unfortunately, back in October 2013, I was the victim of the South Austin floods. So rain is not exactly my friend. So unfortunately, the water levels were raising pretty high where I live, and so my wife actually got really scared as well as I did. So came back, and good thing was no flood, no nothing. Bad thing was I did have to leave, the meetup. But meetup versus house, I think I'll take the house.
You tell that story. I remember you showing us pictures of your dust and dirt covered toys from the flood.
Yes.
What remind me about that? When the flood happened, your main concern obviously is going to be family, right?
Of course, of course. What had actually happened was basically my one of my garage units was actually pretty much finished, or ready to be turned into a man cave, and I was just in the process of getting some new shelf units to go ahead and start putting in there. Everything was in boxes, and of course, as usual, like everyone else, you get a little bit lazy. We were actually planning on buying some stuff for Black Friday, and that was when the flood happened. Halloween night, everything was in boxes, and thought of family and the pets first. So when we actually had to get on the roof of our house, did that. Came back down 4 hours later. Came back downstairs to basically completely soaked boxes. Masterpieces all survived except for one, which was a Fans Toys Quake Wave, and thank God Eddie actually from Toy Dojo helped me out and replaced the box, and I was actually able to save the figure. So, but that's not including all the other figures from various lines of Transformers, G.I. Joe, you name it, I had it.
Yeah. What would you say the number of figures that were actually lost or damaged beyond repair?
Oh, I would say probably about 50 figures or so. Anything that had any kind of cloth material attached to the figure, that was gone. There was no way. Black mold settled in this area so quickly. So pretty much a lot of G.I. Joe figures with nets or capes or anything like that, they were goners pretty much. Try to save them. I did save some of the figures. The cape wise, it just depended on how fast I got to the figures. This is over a period of about 3 to 4 days that I was able to go in there. Everything shifted around, of course, because of the water. So you find one box here that was supposed to be over, in another area.
Yeah.
So.
Jeez. So the boxes moved and floated around inside the garage?
Yes.
Jeez.
Yes. Yeah, it's not fun. I've actually debated on doing a blog and just, of natural catastrophes on what toy collecting and catastrophes add up to, because it's not fun. I've heard of people dealing with fires, and they've been able to salvage the toys. Of course, they smell like smoke in the end, but you still got your toy. Hurricanes and tornadoes, well, they fly away. Yeah. But flood is hands down the worst for, any kind of item that is, not metal, basically.
Yeah.
Even plastic. I've got some plastic figurines that, of course, all figures are plastic most of the time, but, no matter how much I've washed them, you can actually still smell a slight flood smell to them. And it's amazing what water can do to collectibles.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Well, I'm glad you're still in it. I know that I remember seeing a post where you mentioned how this group has kind of, helped you get back into it, and,
Most definitely, yes. Definitely.
Well, I'm glad we've been able to assist you in the addiction of transforming plastic.
So, plastic crack.
Yeah,
plastic
exactly.
Crack.
It's funny. I was one of the things I have on the discussion list of the podcast that didn't happen is labeled plastic crack when collecting gets a little out of hand. Um, I'm,
That's an hour long podcast right there.
yeah,
If not
Doctor
longer.
Doctor Phil was scheduled to be on that. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, we would definitely need his intervention.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're actually, I mean, at least able to show up to the to the meetup. I know there weren't many people there. I know Julio was glad to see that some people were able to show up. So.
Yeah, next time you should just leave Giant and Herc with me, Robert.
I got scared enough to where I was about to toss my box to someone and go, "Here, take this. I'll come back for it later."
Square that away for you.
Speaking
we meet like 3 months from now, then I hand it off.
You are the bit of the recluse outside of the meetings. Which is understandable, though.
Speaking of Herc and Green Giant, Robert, can you describe? You have both toys, and Steve, if you have an opinion, if you've seen it, I'm familiar with Hercules. I have him. I bought him from Trenton. He's all stickered up, so he looks really good. But I know without the stickers, he's kind of plain looking, whereas Green Giant looks amazing, detail wise, realistic wise. The truck modes look great. What is it specific about? And you don't have to get into too much detail, but what is it about Green Giant that makes him look so much more detailed? Is it just painted well, or is there so much more detail to the actual individual figures as opposed to Hercules?
Well, my argument is this is also a time when I had plenty of blowing cash, so I went ahead and bought both of them. And I ended up buying Yellow Giant first. I didn't even know there was a Green Giant in the works, but with Yellow Giant, I had already received 2 pieces of Hercules in the mail, and then I found a website that was actually still selling the first set for Yellow Giant. And after I received Yellow Giant in the first set, the nostalgia G1 kicked in big time. The feel, the look, it transform into their vehicle mode, plain and simple. It just the nostalgia right there of the G1. Molds. And just hands down. Also, too, their transformation is good. Their transformation is simple. So there was no complaints there. They can transform into a robot pretty well as their combiner parts. My major complaint when it came to Hercules was, and I started to notice it even in the first figure, they're blocky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I know, who was it that did Hercules? TFC?
TFC, yeah.
Yeah, TFC, yeah. And that was a major complaint of, from everyone. But, it still got positive reviews. But if you have them side by side, you just, for some reason, especially if you owned a G1 Devastator, everyone always tends to lean to the Yellow Giant or Green Giant because of just that nostalgic feel and look to it. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's smaller, granted, and he was cheaper, but something about it, it's definitely brings back a lot of childhood memories.
Yeah. Well, talking about first off, I do want to talk about the meetup, but unfortunately for me, it went by so quickly that I can't remember much of what was actually there. Steve, was there anything that you saw at the meetup that you thought was interesting and you want to mention?
Trying to remember everything that was there.
Yeah, and same thing with you, Robert. If honestly, this was one thing that I was thinking about when I was calling you guys up and trying to figure something out. I don't remember much of the meetup because it happened so quickly.
I know, everyone, yeah. Let's see, Yellow Giant, Hercules.
How long were Steve? How long were y'all there? How much longer? Because I left probably around.
We went the full 2 hours.
Really?
If not, maybe 15 minutes longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Rob had Giant and Herc right next to me, so that's like I was all about just staring at those. And then when you left, I was like, all right, nothing else really cared. But that's actually not true. There were a couple of Gundam. Well, yeah, there was a couple of Gundam pieces that were there. Josh brought his KO movie Prime with with that giant
Jetfire parts.
Jetfire, yeah, that was pretty wicked. That was a beast.
Was it bigger than
much bigger?
It was? Okay.
It's well proportioned, but it's actually supposed to look like the Jetfire parts, and it does, hands down. But I mean, as beautiful as it looks, when you take a first glance at it, you're like, that's going to fall over any second. But that thing was pretty stable.
Yeah, I think it fell over like right when we were leaving. Actually, it finally did fall over, but it was like a good hefty thump, and nothing like shot off of it across the room or anything. So it was pretty impressive.
That's pretty cool.
What else?
I will say, while you are thinking, I do want to give a shout out to I'm always nervous about saying people's names. So when I go to say a name and I stutter and I go it's because I want to make sure I'm saying the name right. Otherwise, I'll feel like a complete jerk. But that being said, I'm pretty certain that it's Hunter's mom. So I got there just as she was leaving and saying goodbye to him. I think it is so freaking cool that she is willing to bring him to a meetup with a bunch of old dudes, basically. And, let him hang out with people that share an interest that he has. And I just, I want to give a shout out to his mom. So I don't know. I'm sure she was not going to listen to this. He might listen to it. But, yeah, I'm not one for shout outs because I think they're stupid.
I'll definitely give him some serious props, being the fact that, yes, his mother's allowing this, and that's a great thing, I know, at least back in my day, I know definitely my mother or my father probably would have never let me, let's go throw our son over to the 35-year-old man,
Yeah. Well,
so, definitely props to her, definitely props to him, and also, too, you can obviously tell he has a great time every single time he's there, so it's always a pleasure actually seeing him, and I always make sure that hands down, shake his hand and say hi to him whenever I see him at the meetup.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, if there isn't anything you guys can think of from the meetup, because all I can remember is I had an umbrella that wouldn't work whenever I was leaving. Seriously, I step outside and I'm like, the darn thing won't open. I had to, I'm standing outside for saying goodbye to you guys, and I get a key, and I'm pressing the key down into that little slot that catches the umbrella. I'm trying to get the darn thing open. I'm a grown man. I could just walk out to the car. I'll be fine. But when you have an umbrella with you, you have to use it. You have to. There's no way around it. But that's all I can really remember from it. That and the fact there was Green Giant and Hercules there.
Well, Joe Burton brought all of the KO cars he's got. And that was actually pretty cool to look at.
Yeah. What's the is there an appeal to the KO cars as opposed to the fact they're so much cheaper?
I think that's really it, right? Financial. The fact the quality is the same.
The quality is the same. I'm buying the KOs actually just when it actually happens when we move into the next house, is having the original of the figure and a KO of the figure. So one robot mode and one vehicle mode.
Yeah, that's a cool way to go about it.
Also, too, I know pretty much all of us like kit bashing all of our figures here and there, so those KOs come in big handy every now and then.
It is nice to have two figures, one you don't care about and one you do care about.
Yeah.
So I have that situation going on with a Pretender right now. I'm gonna throw Bomb Burst, the cheap one, over at Steve. And yeah, man, if you're still down
you didn't
for
bring it, right? I meant to ask you that when we were there.
Yeah, I didn't bring it. I have it. I have the other one. I was waiting for the other one to come in so I could take a look at it. The other one looks pristine. It looks great. Everything's there. I just haven't got around to taking care of that.
Good. Yeah, I looked him up and was looking at everything about him, and then I started reading about the actual show, and I was like, what?
It's nuts, man.
Yeah. Actually, when you were talking about that, I just remember the other things that were there that were worth mentioning were Paul brought his KO NECA turtles.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, those were, oh my god, the scale on those were awesome.
Yeah.
Those were KO?
Yeah, those were the KO NECA, and then he painted, I think he had painted the headbands. Since then, they've come out with KO colored headbanded ones, but I think he did. Yeah, but those were KO.
I was totally unaware that they came out with some KOs.
Oh yeah, they've got two sets. The ones with the red, and then the ones that with the colored bandanas. They never did the black and white, which was kind of surprising. But I ordered a set that I'm still waiting on, and he brought them. I can take a look at them. I really like the scale of those, man. They're awesome. Yeah, it was turtle heavy on that end.
I love those things simply for the fact that I've been thinking of KO stuff, and I'm like, okay, Transformers are the only toys out there that are getting knocked off, and I love the fact that there's another toy brand that's getting knocked off. I've never heard of any other NECA knockoffs or anything like that, but
I've heard of a few here and there. Some big lines. Mm-hmm. I mean, of course, Steve is also a huge Macross, Robotech as well too. So we've seen those since pretty much day one.
Yeah, a lot of the Korean and all of the different Valkyries that are out there.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, of course, you've always seen your Mexican imports of G.I. Joe figures, which are horrendous, of course, but this is the first time I've actually ever heard of NECA ever being KO'd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they're really good.
Yeah.
Obviously it fooled me.
I love the fact those turtles have tails as well. I think that's an amazing addition.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty sweet. Let's see. So, trying to think what
I think probably the biggest thing to hit while we were there was when Eddie brought all of his stuff from the shop, because he brought in that sort of that chibi Macross SDF one, which Josh and I both have. And then he broke out that Dinobot. Well, wait, maybe we shouldn't mention it on this.
Uh-oh.
Okay, that'll be for the other podcasts.
Well, actually, he brought in for us to preview some Dinobot stuff. That was actually really, really cool.
Oh, man, I gotta wait until I stop recording to ask you what you're talking about, because I missed it.
Edit.
I will edit that if I need to.
Sorry.
You think you covered your tracks pretty well?
Yeah. I mean, the fact that he brought him in just for us to sort of look at the boxing and all that stuff. Yes, that's what happened.
Okay.
That was cool. But then he also, I should know better myself. Since the first meetup, I'm always going to buy something. And he broke out. He had that damn Alpha Trion. It's TFO1. Yeah, it's in front of me right now. That feature, it's awesome. It's costly for a non-transforming figure, but it hits me perfect because I do the Japanese lines, the Bandai stuff, the Solo Shigoken, and all of that stuff as well. Yeah. And it's basically done in that style. So you pick it up and MPO1 is wicked heavy with metal. You pick this up and it's like that. Like you look at it and you go, hey, that's kind of an unassuming, neat looking figure, and you're like, holy crap, this is heavy.
That's what Joel had brought in. Just speaking of figures, the Devastator PVC figure.
Oh yeah,
I liked that thing. I actually did like that. That was cool. It's a good display figure.
Man, I wish I'd seen that.
Yeah, I didn't know it was at like a $60 or $70 price point. I don't know that it's that, but until I picked it up and saw that it does actually have articulation, some basic articulation, it was actually pretty slick. It'd be a great display piece. It would be cool if they did other figures.
Well, we got Scorponok now. And
yeah.
Well, that's Scorponok, the one that Joel got.
Yeah, Joel got the Scorponok, and then there's also, I believe it's the same release date too as the Black Zarok.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys buy the Scorponok. I'm not going to be paying that much. That's a lot of money.
Price of $5.99.
Yeah.
I want that. I do want that, like, pretty bad. I don't know. I'll try to talk Joel and bring in it next time or something. Check it out first.
I can't justify $600 for a PVC non-transforming figure.
Yeah, I mean,
not justify it.
But there's different ways to do PVC, right? I mean, Toonami does a lot of PVC stuff, and it's almost like the old school, PVC, because that's sort of what they're kind of harkening back to. But you can do some pretty, if it's sturdy and I don't know, it's gonna be hard for me not to get it. It looks nice. It looks damn nice next to that Metroplex.
Yeah.
Yeah. How big is that thing? How big is
It's this
the?
Metroplex.
Really? Wow.
It's neck and neck.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the third party Scorponok that's coming out?
The actual transforming one.
Yeah.
Mach-A Toys. Yeah, Mach-A Toys.
Mach-A Toys. I'm interested to see that. It's been a while since I've heard anything about it. Last I saw it was a resin copy at a con, so that's all I know about it.
Let's see, we got that one, which is supposed to be, I think it's supposed to be in scale as their Metroplex, if I remember correctly. I don't think it's to scale of the Generations Metroplex.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah. So it's going to be a tad bit smaller, but being the fact that that's going to be now a third release of a Scorponok figure, which transforms, that price I can justify, and I think it's on the $400 mark, if I remember correctly. Which is necessarily too bad, but well, why not?
Yeah. Talking about Eddie maybe reminded me that Robert, you and I were over there helping him move the other day.
Oh, how'd that go? Yeah.
Fun, actually. I don't know why. I get a kick out of certain things, and that was actually just pure enjoyment. I mean, it brings back a lot of previous jobs that I've had before. So, he thinks it's, he's panicking that, we're going to get bored or frustrated. I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. Yeah. You get to see toys that, well, you either have, can't afford, or dream about.
Yeah. Well, and that's how I convinced my nephew. We were downtown at the Thinkery. My brother and I took the kids, and we were coming back, and I had to drop my brother off to take his car from the dealership where he's getting some work done. And I said, hey, I'm going to go help my friend out. He said, oh, you want to take one of the kids? So I took the oldest one. And I knew Andrew would be fine with it. He's 14. And I told him on the way, I was like, listen, we're going to be helping him move. We're going to be unloading a storage unit and then moving it to another storage unit, which we lucked out. We got there after Robert and Eddie had already loaded the truck up. So all we had to do was unload. But I told him, you're going to have fun. Because as soon as you pick up a box, the first thing you do before you pick up the box, open it, look inside, be amazed at what's in there.
Tell me if it's this item.
So right now, underneath my bed, I have a toy that he opened up, and he's like, "Oh man!" And Robert, I did not realize. I thought that was just like the Unicron that was in Walmart. I didn't realize that was a different head, but that head does look good. I've looked at it.
That is the next best thing to the Japanese version, that Amazon exclusive.
Wait.
Yeah, well, I'll explain here in a second. So let me tell the story first off. So my nephew's opening it up, and he's seen my my Armada Unicron that I have. I'm happy with my Armada. It looks cool enough. But he's seen that, and he bought himself the little Unicron that turns into a little spaceship, or is it?
It was the Cybertron Unicron.
Oh, it's not. Oops.
It's not the one they did for Prime, is it?
The Cybertron
No,
Unicron, say it.
It's an Energon.
Nope, that's wrong.
I think it was, yeah. But anyway, he bought that one because he wanted a Unicron. Well, he got bored with it, and I'm sure he'll get bored with this one that I bought. But he's wanted one like mine for a while. While we were helping him move, he opened up a box and he saw the Amazon 25th anniversary Unicron. Yeah, he's oh man, listen to him. So he opens it up. He saw it. And I know that he has wanted that for a while.
Cartoon repaint one, right?
Yeah, and it's the Amazon with the head. I don't know if it's the only one he had.
I came across. I know for sure. I came across two. Definitely.
Okay, so this is how dumb this is. I now have 3 of the Armada Unicrons. Because I just like the mold and the fact that it's Unicron. But when I was researching, getting into collecting the Transformers stuff, I ran across that Amazon repaint. And, I mean, that's just awesome. So I might have to bug Eddie about that, see if he got one.
Yeah, well, he saw it, and I pulled Eddie aside and I said, hey, I want this one. Well, when we were all done, Eddie's like, is there anything you guys wanted? And I had seen some little robot heroes that I wanted to get. And so I'm like, oh, yeah, I want this. And Eddie I love Eddie to death, but he goes, "Oh, okay, and you also wanted this Unicron too." And I'm like, "Oh," and my nephew like looks at me. He knows exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm like, "Oh, son of a." Yeah, yeah. And so I look at my nephew. I'm like, "You can't say a word. You can't have this. You can't tell your brother what you're getting. You are not going to have this until after Christmas. And if I had my way, you wouldn't have it till Christmas of next year." But anyway, so yeah.
That's cool.
I went ahead and said, "Yeah, Eddie, I don't have the money now." He's like, well, it's yours. Don't worry about it. I'll.
Nice.
So, but yeah, that it's really cool. The paint job on that, and even the paint job on the Walmart one was really nice. But the head, once I really focused on it, because like I said, I didn't realize the head was different, and both Robert and Eddie said, no, it's take a look at it. It's amazing. So.
Well, the only other way to get that head was getting the Transformers 2000 version of it.
Oh wow.
Was it no, I'm sorry. Was it 2010? The Unicron 2010 version from Japan. It came in the black and the yellow box, which I know sold out immediately at every website, and now you can still score them under for $200 to $300, but that was pretty much the only other way. The Amazon ones, which was very surprising, they sat on Amazon for quite some time, and I know I think I got like $20 knocked off of them before they had sold out. So I think I bought them at $79. I think.
Wow.
On Amazon.
Well, I got that, and I got myself a little robot hero Megatron, and
You were so happy that day.
Yeah, hey, you know what? I've been wanting myself a little 3-inch Magnus, and I know they sell those like the statues or the My Robot Hero type. I forget. They're a high end one.
Heroes of Cybertron.
Yeah, the Heroes of Cybertron. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many do you want? You want like 5 or 6 of them? Because I know I've got like at least 5 or 6 of them laying around.
Tell you what, if you see some, take a picture and send it to me. I'll let you know.
I'll give them to you for free. I have so many extras of Ultra Magnus. It's not even funny.
Well,
I'm
I've
asking people to bring those to the meetup because I'd like to see them.
yeah.
Actually, you know what? I do know where they're at, so I will definitely dig those up. I have a good, probably about 50 or so of them, of the Heroes of Cybertron / whatever the Japanese name was for them.
Yeah.
They're cute little figurines, and they're definitely office desk material.
Yeah.
Especially
Well,
if they get stolen, you don't have to worry about it.
Right.
Well, I wanted that one specifically because Ultra Magnus. So you know, everybody has their little niche that they get into, and mine's going to be Ultra Magnus because I've always been his fan. I still have mine from when I was a kid, and so yeah.
Sound wave.
Let's see. Yeah, so it's always fun helping Eddie out because you get to seriously before you pick up a box and move it. Just if it's already open it up and always look in there. There's always something cool inside a box. It's I was excited when I found the Quake Wave stand that he had. I was like, dude, I got to set this aside. You know, it's like I'm not hiding it. I'm setting it aside so afterwards it can be the last box to go in. So I could say, oh,
That wasn't from this trip, was it? It was like
no, that was last
Okay.
time. That was last
I'm
time.
about to start throwing
Yeah.
stuff. That's
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, because I have been wanting one of those forever.
Yeah, no
And
problem.
Thank you for finding that box, because Eddie still has not gotten back to me on the whereabouts of that guy who created them. They don't even know if he's alive.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's what Eddie told me. He bought them from the guy because he felt bad the guy had cancer or something like that. And
Correct.
yeah, I've since then I've seen them on eBay for varying prices.
I've been still hunting eBays to this day and still haven't found a single
Really?
one.
I think I sent a link to James. So yeah, I'll have to look in our chat and see if I can find that. Maybe it's one of those Japanese sellers that is making copies.
That's fine by me.
Yeah, right. All you need is to make that gun stand up because it doesn't stand up on its own, unfortunately.
Correct.
But
What we can work with.
yeah. So like I said, I didn't want to make this too long. I just wanted to get something so that I could say that I'm still doing this, because I don't want to fall by the wayside and just have it be something that I did once and we all forgot about. It was cool one time thing. So I appreciate you guys joining me. But like I said, I do want to make this short because I know you guys got to go and I got family. So, but that being said, I'm not done.
All right.
Yeah. You guys get anything that you're excited about? Robert, what you got? Well, I'll tell you what. Hold off on.
I know I got something that I have been yearning for quite some time, but didn't want to pay the price for, which was I got the MMC. What is it? Hearts of Steel. Shockwave. The huge U-boat.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
I acquired that one from Eddie the other day. That one is my piece de la resistance on that one. Actually, I have a friend who has it, and I fell in love with it instantly. He's clunky. I don't care. He's beautiful. It's a matter of now just setting him up on some kind of shelf unit to actually proudly display him. So he's currently still sitting in the box.
Have you ever heard the story of Evangelist from TFW? What is it? TFW 2005 podcast.
No.
He had that toy and he was reviewing it, and someone asked him, "Does it float?" And he decided he was going to test that out. So
I watched the video.
Oh, you did? I've never seen the video. I've heard the story.
The video is on YouTube, and it sinks in a matter of pure.
Yeah, and he went on to say that it had rusted screws after that, which makes sense.
You think?
Yeah, I know. So
there's nothing electronic in it.
Yeah, so don't put it in the water and play with it in the bath time, okay?
So I was trying to look up a review, and that was actually the first video that popped up on YouTube. Actually,
wow. It's probably the most popular. That's cool. Don't
read the comments. It gets hilarious.
That toy looks very cool. The fact that it turns into that giant U-boat, and then just the figure itself, the robot. The fact that instead of the cable on his arm, it's the chain from the anchor. Everything about that toy just makes me drool. The fact, first off, it's not their creation. Obviously, it's the artist, and the artist I applaud for his ability to have such a creative imagination to create that robot the way he did, and then for them to be able to take it, and as clunky as it is, you said so yourself, it's still a very cool looking physical representation.
It is. I would kill to actually touch and do a size comparison on the Optimus. I guess you can call it the caboose, I guess. I would like to actually see how tall that thing is, because Shockwave, I mean, is just absolutely massive. Sorry for my dog back in the background. But, I mean, he's massive. He's honestly masterpiece size. Definitely overtowers Optimus at least about a good half inch almost.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what another one of the many reasons why I had to pick that thing up. I mean, I've got 1,001 other things to pick up, but I saw that, I'm like, nope, it ain't leaving. it ain't staying at this warehouse.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you for that. Well, Steve, how about you? Anything you got? Just give me one toy. Anything you got you're excited about?
Actually, one I mentioned was that Alpha Trion. Like I said, I'm really impressed with it. I'm gonna start goofing with it pretty soon.
Let me ask you a couple questions real quick about that. I think I know which one you're talking about, but just for clarification, and I'll look for a picture and try and put it on the video. But is that's a non-transforming, but it's it's a legitimate one. It's not a third party, right?
Right. No,
okay.
Right. It is fully licensed, and he's got the 2 heads. He's got the younger A3 head.
Oh, okay.
And it's got like the split cape, and he's legit.
Cool.
To Cartomy. So that's probably my biggest grab. And then I've got Ursa. Ursa was released for that Bike Loans line.
Mm-hmm.
The little bicycle guys that I'm sort of collecting.
Mm-hmm.
Ursa was released, I think, like 3 weeks ago. And I'm about 2 weeks in on the delivery, so it should be any time now.
And if
And Ursa is the final piece, the big centerpiece. It's the bear, and then those other ones will combine into the limbs. So.
That's cool. You got to take pictures, man. You got to take
Yeah,
pictures.
Well, I'll certainly bring it. It should be here. Ursa better be here before the next meetup.
Yeah.
But I'll bring it because that's going to be pretty big.
Oh, cool.
I think the biggest thing right now, of course, is for the people that were able to go meet up with Eddie today, of course, too, is the Bumblebee, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, man, I thought I was going to be able to make it there, actually, and a friend of mine and I decided to hit the dig pub back here behind us. I rolled in at like 1, and then 2 pints in, I'm like, yeah, there's no way I'm going to make it down there. And I was messaging with you, James, and then also with Eddie, because I was like, okay, who's going to be there? But it looks really good. I'm glad you guys got your hands on it today, and people are posting pictures.
It looks good. People are definitely pissed off at me right now, that's for sure.
I saw that. Where'd you get it? I did, because you posted the repro labels, didn't you?
The repro labels as well as the Transformers Masterpiece page as well, too. And it's like, oh, and local shopping, but local shopping.
Well, so let me ask this about that particular piece. Is it $80 cool?
Yes. Yes,
okay.
it is.
Cool. I mean, I knew I was going to get it, regardless of really what anybody else thought, because I wanted it to be my first MP car. But that was the one thing was like, is it $80 worth that, or
I will definitely say it's $80 because of the piece that it comes with it, with it being Spike.
Yeah.
If I had opened that box up and just saw Bumblebee in there, I'd be infuriated on the price wise, because he is a small little bug, and he does match up to the trucks and to the planes and whatnot. But I mean, it was the fact that they actually thought that through. Go, hey, we can't sell this for for $80 without some kind of compensation, and them giving us first off, a Spike figure, which is cool, but a transforming exosuit Spike, that was perfect right there. It was like, okay, cool, 2-in-1 package, not bad.
Yeah.
Keep it up. Go with the smaller figures as well too. They've had their chance, of course, with the Brawny and the other third-party companies that are producing those. But Takara definitely thought this one through. So far, from what I've seen on the figure and played with, I don't see any scuff marks, no scratch marks on the paint. Paint looks good. Transforms perfectly. Actually, a pretty simple transformation at that too. So I'm impressed versus the last figure that we won't mention that I hate so much.
Well, why are people whining about his face sculpt? Like, I like it. I think it looks...
real quick, man. I'm sorry. I gotta do this. B's sitting in my car. I gotta go get him now. So, son of a biscuit.
An audio unboxing.
Oh man, I can't. I'm staring at your picture. Go. Okay. Talk about everything. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Okay, for the face, I don't know what the complaint is. I mean, first off, if you got the Amazon exclusive, faceplate, you got that. So technically, now you got 3 faceplates. Mm-hmm. Am I that old school? Do I just remember his face as that light grayish? I mean,
yeah, that's what I was like. When I see it, it's like, okay, yeah, they nailed it. It's perfect. And people are like whining about his face and this, that, and the other. Like, really? I think it looks good.
And that's what I don't understand is why do you want it chrome? It's not chrome in the G1 cartoon. It's a lightish dark, semi-dark gray. They nailed it. That's one thing I'm kind of really puzzled on. I guess maybe, how everyone always says a photo doesn't do justice. And maybe they're just seeing it in a wrong form until they get it into their hands, and actually get to sit there and look at it and appreciate it, going, hey, this is a really good job. But maybe the photos are, messing up the facial look.
There's a similar thing around the Lion Force Voltron stuff, where every time Toonami would come out with a new set, right, something was different in the coloration. And one of the heated issues were the legs. And so Toonami did a cartoon accurate version. Even Mattel, the Matty Collector, the giant one that I've got, the legs are that gray plastic, right? A sort of matte gray. And people were just going crazy about that because they wanted chrome. But the reality was the first toys that were brought in and sold as the Lion Voltron were chrome. But in the cartoon, they've never been chrome. Like, if you want to go cartoon accurate, you're staying with, cell-shaded colors. But it was interesting to see like the different generations that were complaining about, this should be Chrome. Well, okay, so you want a remake of the first toy, not something that's cartoon accurate.
Correct. Yeah, and you're always going to have both sides of the spectrum on that one as well too. Either you go G1 or you go quote unquote toy accurate. I mean, out of curiosity too, since you're a huge Voltron fan, how many actual Voltron sets are there now to date?
Like modern ones? Oh, to date? I don't know. I keep coming so close to just getting the old Panache one just to have it, which is completely atrocious.
I know I had one back as a kid, and they were full die-cast, and I remember...
That would have been Matchbox.
Yes, the ones that the figures, the little figurines, the characters did not sit in. They were full die-cast and could pretty much kill a man. And I remember they had even done a little 60-minute thing or something, some kind of news article about how the paint had contained lead, and that was a big issue back then in the 80s, of course. So,
yeah, that was the Matchbox stuff. So Matchbox was doing a bunch of pieces for the Voltron line, and then they also did some of the Robotech stuff as well. But that Matchbox one, I want to say it was the rebranding of the Go Lion stuff that was coming in, kind of how like Hasbro did the Takatoku and the with Bandai for the Valkyrie stuff that they brought in. Because that's Jetfire's got that really interesting history in regards to licensing and that's depending on the year that you got it. Yeah, you might have a Bandai version and you might have a Takatoku version. But yeah, I mean. That Matchbox one, if I recall, was the first U.S. branded Voltron. And then Panache came out with that big, derpy, plastic, weird thing. And then...
Oh, that thing was horrible.
Yeah, it was absolutely horrible. But for some reason, I'm to a point where it's like, I kind of want to have it just to have it.
So
why it was so goofy, because the actual character fit in the thing, and it was just like, oh my god.
Well, the feet on the lions were in that weird static pose, and it just, and then when you mash it all together in a combined form, you're like, what is this atrocity?
Yeah, but as a kid, you didn't know the difference.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, Black Lion that's it, and it was huge.
Exactly.
And then there've been a couple. I think there was one in '98, I think, and then 2009 or 10.
There was the reboot.
The what was that one called?
Toonami? It was Toonami reboot of the series.
Well, yeah. So there was the series what was it called? Extreme? Not Extreme. Something like that.
I wouldn't be able to tell you.
They released a couple of those figures, and I think they did do a gift box set. But that was quickly gone.
Yeah.
And then Toonami they did the 25th anniversary, and then obviously the 30th anniversary. Neither of which I have. I keep thinking I want them. Particularly the 30th with all the sound and everything. I don't know.
You recently acquired a KO, correct?
Yeah, that was the KO, the Vehicle Force Voltron. Well, as we know, the Vehicle Force Voltron, it's the Dairuger in Japan. And that was near and dear to me. Like I remember being in my dad was posted in Hawthorne, Nevada at the time, and our neighbors were Japanese. Well, the husband, or I'm sorry, the wife and the kids were Japanese, and they would go back to Japan every year. And this one year, Michael was the kid's name. He was a buddy of mine. I came back with the Dairuger, and all of those Japanese figures like that, they're like in the big giant carrying like suitcases with the handles and everything. And we popped that thing open, and I was just like amazed. And you can actually get that same 80. It was probably like 80, 81, 82. You can get the Dairugers on eBay for a couple $100, but I watched that Vehicle Force one, the sort of reboot, whatever that they did with it. It went through 2 iterations. The first one was, I won't say a major failure, but there were enough issues with it that people were kind of soured by it. I mean, we waited for so long to get that figure. And so I was kind of happy that I had not bidden on it. But then, I saw that damn picture Eddie posted from San Antonio Comic-Con, and there it was, sitting in the middle of the display. I immediately got a hold of him, like, you give me one of those right now. And I still haven't even transformed it. I popped it open, a couple of meetups ago, but I haven't put them all together. I just like having him. His box looks great.
The briefcase of gold, huh?
Yeah, but it doesn't have a handle, and that's what some people like. When you watch Collection DX, that's one of the things that Josh always talks about. There's not a handle there. They do the styrofoam perfectly. They do the individually wrapped figures and everything. I mean, it's like total. It's a glorious thing to break open like a Solo Shigoken, a Bandai piece like that, because it's very fine tuned the way that they put it all together in that box, and you crack it open and it's all styroed out and everything has a place, and it just brings it back. It's pretty cool. So it's always fun running across that. But yeah, I cracked that box open. It's got like the thin paper overlay that has like all of the designs on it with the little cutout windows showing all the pieces underneath that are still bagged up, just like they do. So it's done really well. Hopefully when I finally put it together, it doesn't fall apart, but we'll see.
Well, that's what doll stands are for. I cannot stress that enough to y'all. I cannot stress that enough to the entire group and to the entire world. Doll stands are the greatest thing ever invented. I know everyone likes the Bandai little stands to do poses and stuff, but when you have a Gestalt, no, doll stand.
Yeah, Herc and Giant look pretty rock solid when you have them standing there. That was actually very impressive. But yeah, and again, just the way that those look, that makes me want both of those damn figures.
It was definitely an investment, that's for sure. I kind of wish because that would have been extra money in my pocket. I kind of wish I did stick with one, but I am still nevertheless happy with both of them. But yeah, that was when I was rolling in the big bucks and I actually could afford it.
Do you favor one over the other?
It's neck and neck. I honestly cannot.
Because I know I asked you about like third party pieces. Because one of my when I first started getting into collecting this round of TS stuff, I had actually picked up a KO Encore Devastator, and then I slowly found like the third party stuff, all of the Crazy Devi stuff, and they did a kit. With the hips and the forearms and fists and all that stuff, and so I got that brought in. Yeah,
I
really cool.
despise Crazy Devi so much because they grab me by by the neck pretty much, because everything they've come out with I've purchased pretty much, and it's like, damn y'all charge so much, but I must have it. I still to this day have not picked up a third party Predaking. And for good reason, which is I have the re-release of the Gen 1 one, and I am all but 2 pieces away from having every Crazy Devi part for that Predaking.
Wow.
My friend, I've got a good friend in San Antonio who constantly rags me about it. He's like, with all those Crazy Devi parts, that figure is over $500 now. You could have bought a third party, to date figure. I'm like, shut up. Just shush.
Well, I'm back. I've been back listening, just letting y'all talk. B is sitting in the box, and this whole time y'all have been talking, I've been messing with Spike.
How do you like that?
It's actually really cool.
I didn't have enough pictures of Spike. Like that, for me, I asked earlier about the price point. Is it worth $80? And Robert, I think you're right. Without Spike in the box, I would probably have really wavered. But I was getting more and more irritated that we were finally getting more pictures of this, but it was all of B. And it's like, wait a minute. The reason I'm holding on is because of Spike. Like, I want to know more and see more of that.
It's really cool.
There is one complaint that I've seen so far in 2 videos that I've watched tonight, and to me it doesn't bother me at all. It's just the nitpicking is Spike's head is technically painted but not painted. There's no eyeballs or I guess there's lips on Spike, but his eyeballs aren't painted. But that was the same way with the MP10. You had a little Spike figure, but no face on it, which I could care less. It was just a figurine to stick in the figure. Ooh.
He's got 2 heads, right? Like one for when he's in car mode or whatever?
It's one head, but it tilts up and down.
Oh, it tilts. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought they were doing a set where it was like showed his hands in there with the controllers and all that. Maybe that was just something else I'd seen.
Yeah, I want to say that was a third party. I can't remember.
Okay.
I know they were coming out with Daniel and Spike on that one, I think.
Maybe that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is really. I'm talking about the Spike. The B is still in the box. The main reason why I want to get B is because looking at your picture, B looks yellow, Robert. And I've seen like other pictures where he's got that gray, the orangish yellow. And he looks good. I like the paint job. I like the color. It's close enough to cartoon accuracy as well as being realistic. Because nobody's going to paint their car that, bright sun yellow.
Actually, the Cougar. There was a year that the Mercury Cougar came out that was this really weird sunburst yellow, and I've never seen it since.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't go with that. I'm a realistic car person. I enjoy the masterpieces because they look real and they look like accurate cars. And I gotta say, this Volkswagen Beetle looks beautiful.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
I can see a little bit of wavering on the paint on the window framing, but overall, just looking at the oh wow. And it's going to be interesting to see how he transforms, because I know that Robert, have you transformed him yet?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so I'm looking at what I guess is going to be his chest. The roof of the car is going to be his chest, and the entire back seat section is his backpack, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay,
and the backpack kibble actually hides pretty well. The only one of the only complicated things on that figure is if you look on the top of the hood, the front of the Beetle, that actually sinks into the middle of his chest.
Oh wow!
And it slides in pretty well. Transforming it back was a little bit of a different story. I always have fingernails, so I had literally had to really get in there to kind of take it back out.
Yeah.
About 2 minutes worth of fiddling with it, but it finally came out. So, no stress, or no frustration on it. But it was like, okay, that's really in there, but it can be taken out.
Yeah. Just a cursory glance, I'm looking at it and I'm like, I have no problem paying what I paid for this thing. But that being said, like one of my wheels has the what do you call it when there's just a little bit of flash where they cut it off the tree? A little bit of
sprue?
Yeah, the sprue. Thank you. A little bit of flash from the sprue. No, to me it's not that big. To other people it probably will be, but I'm really forgiving when it comes to toys. Like I said earlier, there's not a lot of toys that you could show me that I will say that's a piece of crap. I got G-Axis from the recent generations in the package. I don't plan on taking him out because he looks interesting, but he looks like a piece of crap to me.
I can't even look at that figure. That figure blinds me when I look at it.
I bought him just because why not? It's, it was $14 at the time. But I look at that and I'm like, okay, I can flash on that toy, that's fine. But on a masterpiece, meh. But even then, I'm okay with it.
You can throw that thing in the middle of a forest and use Google Maps to find that thing easily.
That's true. Well, I take it hunting with me.
Orange.
If I get lost in the woods, I'll just flash G-Axis and.
Just flash that up in the sky, and believe me, they'll find you real quick.
Yeah. The paint job on B looks, that this yellow is going to stand out on the paint job. So, just like Sideswipe, you're going to have to understand, be a little forgiving with the paint job. But overall, I'm looking at this toy. I like it. This looks really cool. I think the Spike looks really cool. I'm excited about this. I can't wait to sit down and play with it. I still haven't transformed B. I'll do that in a little bit. But I'm excited.
It's a pretty simple transformation, which is nice. It's not twirling, curving, bending. So I have no complaints on that one. He was actually really simple transformation, but a very good transformation.
What's the deal with the rear side mirrors coming on sprues?
Okay, so I have slowly but surely researching that. One of the major complaints that I've heard is I believe it was with the Z series. Some people apparently had been complaining that they were opening up the packaging and they were broken, or because of the molding of the plastic coffin, as I call it, was basically kind of fusing them in there, and also they break off easy. With when we got Wheeljack, we got 2 sets. With B, we have 1 set, which is fine. I kind of take a lot of happiness in that they're not putting them on there, that we have to put them on there, because at least we can say if it breaks, it's your fault.
Yeah, it's because Steve, his side mirrors come on sprues just like Wheeljack, so it's different. I'm not complaining, man. I think it's kind of cool. Hey, we understand that you guys care for these, so we're gonna we're gonna let you guys make sure that the toy comes not broken.
Nice, exactly, very nice.
So I'm perfectly fine. But yeah, this toy is really cool. I'm excited about it. But I'll say this real quick about my little pick that I wanted. Yeah, I've been watching the Japanese cartoons recently, and I'm on what is it called? Super God Master Force.
Oh no!
Yeah, Super God Master Force. So yeah, I went ahead and I got Bomb Burst and Skullgrin. I tried to get Submarauder, but somebody wanted it more than I did, and whatever. But I got those 2 guys. They're pretenders. I just nothing special about them. Kind of neat to have. I think I bought them more.
Where did you acquire them?
eBay.
Ah, okay.
So yeah,
the other store that we use here in Texas.
And that's what I was wondering about. I can't remember how much that person paid for those, but I got Skullgrin for $30.
No. Apparently, there was a couple figures that were bought. I believe it's 1 or 2, and they were bought for $40 a piece. The full set of those figures, and should I mention the store?
Yeah, we all know who it is.
So Anna's Toy Depot. She actually ended up selling the entire set to, I guess, a private buyer for $300 flat. Jeez. And all those figures were complete. Well,
how many figures were there?
It was 10.
Was it 10? Wow.
Yeah. In total, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So the guy got a pretty good steal. You know, so.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I paid $30 for Skullgrin and $26 for Bomb Burst.
Skullgrin, I'm still trying to complete. I'm missing the infamous right rifle.
Yeah. I got both rifles, and where is it? I got them sitting right in here. I actually got them in a bag. I boxed them up. I got both rifles. I got his axe and his skirt piece too, which I was excited about.
Nice.
So.
Hey, I want to do a shout out before we wrap up.
Yeah, what you got?
Phil Reed. He's got another book coming out.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
So I actually was able to get in on this. I've been wanting to drag him over to my gaming group on Facebook that I've got together. There's a handful of us. And I friended him recently, and then I saw his posts of each sold separately, which is going to be a hardcover book on the marketing of toys in the 80s, which is awesome. But he's got a tier level in that round where I think it's like $80. You'd not only get each sold separately, but you also get the first 2 TF third-party books that he did.
And that's what you've been wanting, isn't it?
Yes, that is exactly what I've been wanting. So I was really excited about that, and kind of put that out there in a couple other places. So if anybody is looking to get on those, he's up on Kickstarter now. I think there's like a 15-day run on it, so 2 weeks left on this. But,
yeah, I'm gonna jump on that. I just got to wait for my next paycheck because I've blown mine on several different things. So
like all of us.
Yeah, I'm waiting for his books because his last one I got both books coming to me, so I'm excited about those. I've basically seen them both because he sends the PDFs out, but I'm still excited to get them in hand. So
cool. He's still doing a Kickstarter, y'all said?
Yeah, he just started one up. And it's for a book called Each Sold Separately, action figure marketing of the 80s. And so it looks really awesome. But if you look in the tiers, I think it's the 3rd tier down, he's got a level where it's not only that book, but also his first 2 of the third-party books.
Yeah,
Huh.
and he's also got a third
He's got a
party.
third one, I thought. Yeah.
So that's kind of Inception-y, a third party book.
Yeah.
Speaking of books, I went ahead and spent some money on the Prime. What is it? Crud. Covenant of Primus.
Covenant of Prime. You know,
Yeah, dude.
Josh brought them. Were you there when Josh had his there?
No, I wasn't.
So at the meetup, he brought, now that you brought that up, that was another thing. Josh had this giant ass coffee table book. It was like Transformers Classics something or another, and it's all of the artwork, all of the box artwork.
Yes, that's
Oh
you
my
can go
god,
to
that thing is awesome.
Legends or something. It's on Amazon. You can buy it. I want to get that book so bad. It looks
Yeah.
really good.
Yes. It sold out for a little bit. It's back on Amazon.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he had both that and the Covenant, and he opened up the Covenant and made all the noises and all that stuff. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I kind of like the idea of the Covenant. Looks really interesting, really cool. It'd be a really good display piece because you can mount it on the wall and stuff.
Yeah, just don't leave the book in it. Do not leave the book in it to try to hang it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Okay.
Yeah. I can't wait to read the book.
Picture running online somewhere where someone had the book still in it and it fell to the ground and it shattered into a million pieces.
Just anchor
Yeah.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me. When I open that thing up, that plastic looks very thin and brittle. In fact, one of the pieces is already kind of warped, so it sticks out, like the nose sticks out a little bit further from the face. So that's
Correct.
disappointing, but
Yeah. I received it as a Christmas present from my wife last year, and I mean, it's a beautiful unboxing. It's a beautiful display piece.
Oh, isn't it
Definitely a coffee table book.
and just the box too, very pretty.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I can't wait to read it though. The way that it's written is what has me excited. I think it's going to be tough to read, but I'm looking forward to it because it's kind of written in a, I don't know how to describe it, like a third person or a first person point of view, but as a third person because it's I don't know. It's like the Bible, It's
Yeah. I can
it's somebody
see that.
writing their understanding of what's going on right then and there. So it doesn't even feel like it's in past tense. It's as if this is happening right now, but it happened in the past, and I'm telling you all about it. So
Yes. Definitely on that one.
but
Definitely. Yeah.
well, cool.
Great piece. Great piece to pick up. Do not miss out on that one, actually. That was well worth every single penny, even though it was free last year for Christmas. But
Yeah. Well, I got it because I noticed that Amazon dropped it down to 50, so I couldn't pass that up.
yeah.
So,
I think my wife had paid full price for it.
yeah, I saw it in a comic book store when I was in California for 100, and I said, "Is that's still 100? You guys have it? Because I've seen it online for." He's like, "Well, yeah, we have it for 100, so other people may be able to lower it, but we can't." I'm like, "Okay, well, thanks anyway."
Lost a buyer.
Yeah, I mean, I understand his point. They probably paid, I don't know, they probably paid 50 for it.
Yeah, but 100% markup.
Yeah, so. Well, guys, I think I'm done. How about you guys? Anything else?
I think that's it for me.
One thing.
Oh, Steve.
I know.
I have to go to the bathroom.
Just say no to cross-guarded lightsabers. That's all I'm going to say about that damn teaser.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for
Just-
bringing
Okay,
that up.
so that's the only. Apparently, I'm the only person that likes that. Actually,
I don't know.
Okay,
it's a teaser, and I'm taking it for that. Everybody's like, oh, this is a horrible a preview. And it's like, no, it's not a preview. It's a teaser.
Yeah.
We've got a long way to go. I would have waited longer for more. I don't know. I think if they would have been a little more subtle with, flipping it on and, hey, there's this neat thing that they're doing with this particular saber. But, yeah, anyway.
Okay, I got a
can't.
couple points. Robert, I'll let you go first, and then my turn, and then we're calling it quits, because otherwise we will talk forever.
I don't have any points on it or whatnot, but we'll
Okay,
see what
so-
happens. I'm pulling this trailer with a grain of salt, pretty much. So
Yeah, I'm excited.
we'll just. I'm not jumping to conclusions. I'm not freezing the trailer frame by frame to see what I see in the background.
No.
I'll
Or
wait.
gifting each scene or anything like that.
Full critique.
So what's the point of Well, no other lightsabers had that little crossbar. Anyway.
In fiction, in canon, there's one other that has it's a split into two, but it goes out at like a 45-degree angle. It's not like this, not like an actual crossguard.
That seems like it would be an awful sword to use.
Well, right. Be more self-damage than. But
Okay.
you know, hey, I guess it fits. It's kind of neat. It just, if they wouldn't have drawn so much attention to it in the teaser, I would have been able to overlook and not care about it. But
Yeah.
Go Darth Maul style, and
Right.
leave it in the movie, and then we get to see it appear.
Yeah.
It's now everyone's just bashing on it now because it was in the trailer.
Yeah, that's true. The one thing I'm concerned about is throughout the trailer you see all these different spaceships. Yeah, you see X-wing. Hey, there's the Millennium Falcon. None of them are in space.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
What? Okay, I'm sorry. A lot of the Star Trek movies were in space. They went down planet side, but a lot of the space battles happened in space. Star Wars, the majority of the battles have happened in space. They went to the Endor, but guess what? While the battle on Endor was happening, there was a battle in space. My concern is that J.J. Abrams is going to take everything planet side. And I don't know. Of course, I'm reading into the tiniest bit, so I can't say anything.
That might be 3 seconds of the movie, so that's why grain of salt here.
Yeah.
Salt.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. The other thing that caught me off guard, there goes my bee. He's in the package. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Earlier I was posting. I'm afraid to pick up my bee. He might sting me.
God damn it.
I'm lame, I know, but okay. Now, for a series that had maybe 2 women that were dressed normal and didn't have multiple boobs, and its only real black guy was like one of the main characters. They start the trailer off. I loved it. I loved it. A black stormtrooper. Now, of course, we know nothing about it.
But they're clones, right? I mean, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Chances are he's dressed in
Sure.
that could be for all we know, that could be a scene from San Diego Comic-Con 2013. Who knows? No, but I love that. When he popped up, I was like, oh, that's cool. That's like Disney saying, hey, we're bringing this into modern day, not just,
Yeah.
I love that. I loved it.
Who knows? It might be the return of the ice cream maker guy. I don't know if anybody knows that reference, but ice cream machine maker guy. And the most random black person in all of Star Wars carrying around an ice cream maker.
All right, and on that note, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me tonight. I greatly appreciate it. I know it was kind of a moment's notice, and I'm going to try and get on the ball with it a little bit better, but thank you.
Quite welcome.
All right, cool.
All right, guys.
All right, have fun.
Take care.
All right, thank you. Good night.